background is blue. You can use any color that you like. I did use a brown. I'll use a reddish brown for her for shadows. And of course I use white and black. Background is blue. You can use any color that you like. I did use a, sorry about that. And then choose your flowers. I'm not real crazy about her flowers. They talked about me last time, said she looks like a cyclops. So I might change. Pretty sure I'm going to change up those flowers. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to change up those flowers. Got it.
Those flowers remind me of two things, like the old kind of hats grandmothers used to wear back like maybe in the 60s, and also the old time swimming caps. Remember when women used to wear the swimming caps?
Yes, I remember.
I remember I had a swimming cap with all those flowers on them.
All right, so you guys can go ahead and grab your colors of your choice.
Burnt sienna, what would be this one? That's cool. 6. Oh, burnt umber. I don't have burnt sienna and brown.
So I think I know whose voice that is, but I'm scrolling over. But no, I don't see her name, so she's not here. So okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started, guys. I grab you a cup of water. I don't have my water. And water comes to mind because when I'm using my brush, using my fresh brush, I like my brush to be a little damp. So that's why I thought about my water. Let me grab my water. Guys, we're gonna paint our background, I usually grab my largest flat brush to do my background. And usually if you guys have a flat brush, it's usually like either a quarter, a quarter or a half inch. So any of those with your largest one, any that you like. And so we're just gonna pretty much cover my background. Actually, I went all the way to the top, but since we're painting the flowers at the top, you could probably go with a third of everything, a third under, like this, where I have my paintbrush. And I'm gonna just cover it with my sienna. So I wet my brush, and then I like to touch it to a paper towel to get rid of any excess water. I'm not drying the brush off because it needs to be nice and wet to, be lucid to be able to spread the paint. So I just tapped it on there to get rid of excess water so it's not running down my painting. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my paint to the canvas. Like I said, and it doesn't matter if you're up too high, up too down, you're up too high or down too low, because we're layering. We're just gonna, cover up the background with color. We're gonna layer some more colors on there. So now I'm just spreading my color. You can see that it's kind of spacey a little bit. So to eliminate those patches, I might just go ahead and wet my brush a little more, because the brush helps to spread the paint better. And that's what I did. You can see that it spreads a little bit better. When it's not spreading well enough, then you just want to go ahead and wet your brush a little bit. And don't worry about it being like a really thick layer. Again, we're going to be layering. So your base layer doesn't have to be a solid layer. It'll be okay if there's like some light areas or some darker areas. It's okay. So I didn't come all the way to the edges. There's no, rhyme or reason why I did that. It's entirely up to you. And then if you want, like I said, I just came up a third of a way, or came from the bottom a third way down. It doesn't matter. That's not pertinent. So if you want to continue on up, you can. But I just know that I'm going to layer my flowers at the top. So that's why I left it like that. So I'm going to pause to let, it doesn't have to completely be dry. What we're going to be doing, I'm going to use my brown paint to draw her, paint in her, the angles, her shoulders and her chin and neck and all that good stuff. So it doesn't have to be completely dry, but I am pausing so that you guys can. And it, okay. So this says a participant enable closed caption. So that means I don't have to. Let me see if I see closed caption. It's changed so much, so I can't always tell where it is. Show captions. All right, so no problem. Jacqueline is not here today. Okay. I thought I saw Elizabeth pop in. Yep, there she is. Carol, that's who I was looking for, Carol. I don't see Carol either. And Anita Williams. All right. So I'm let it dry a couple more minutes. Like I said, it doesn't have to be completely dry. And you'll find that when you go to put on more layers, you'll need to actually wait till the first layer dries, because all you're doing, if it's the paint is still wet and you're trying to put a second layer on, all you're going to do is move the paint around, and you'll see that as soon as if it's still wet, you swipe, you'll see that sometimes you just take the paint off the canvas when you do that. So keep that in mind. So, and because I'm using brown in the brown family, it will be okay for me to, because I think about blending. If you had yellow and you put blue on top, it would turn green. But if it's already dry, you won't have to worry about that. But since I'm using brown, it's not going to matter either. So now the first thing I'm going to do, I can't remember if I did her, I can't remember if I did her chin first or her shoulder. I'm going to see if I can find the video. That just gives us, I hope everybody has their brushes down so that it can dry a little bit anyway. And I did draw, sure I did. And I used white to anchor her. So maybe I'll just grab my white. So the first one I'm going to do is her shoulder. Where am I? I'm kind of over here. If I divide my in columns, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to divide it in 3 columns, and then that's where at the beginning of here is where I'm going to start that her shoulder. So I'm going to put it on here, and then you guys can check it out. See, I'm about 1/3 of a way over from the edge. If I have my 3 columns, 1, 2, well, yeah, no, actually that's not. It's about 1/4 of a way. So there, and again, it's not going to matter because the way she is situated, wherever you start, it's not going to matter. You might just have more room in the back as opposed to the front. Okay, so now I'm just going to start. I'm going to line up where her shoulder is, side of her face, there. I'm going to come down, kind of, like I said, line up that first line and come down and go up. There, a nice wide U. That's going to be her face. And then bring that line down from where her face stopped. Bring that line down where her face stopped. Bring that line down here. And then I'm going to give her another shoulder. And there's her outline. Guys, catch that? Now I'm going to go, as I did use my a smaller flat brush, and I used the edge to kind of outline that, but I am going to, is that dry enough? Yes. Mine's is dry enough where I'm going to take my pointer brush, and I'm also still going to, I don't know if I should use the red or the, yeah, I'm just going to leave it. So I got my outline. I'm going to go ahead and put another layer of my paint on where her complexion is going to be. I'm going to start on her where her shoulder is. And it's okay now to cover up those lines. You don't have to, because we're going to come back on top with black. But if, again, if your base is not dry, you're just going to move paint around. So I'm just going to, it feels like it's dry enough for me to put a layer. I'll put one on her shoulder. I'm going to do one where her face is. Just another layer of the same color. But really, if you wanted to change it a little bit, go lighter or darker, whatever you kind of have an idea of what you want her complexion to be, you can do that then. And then I'm going to come over here and do the other shoulder. And under her chin and her neck, that area's got to be I'm going to put that a little bit darker as well. Okay, you can still, with that next shade, it does look a little bit darker. Okay. And still now take my start working on my flowers. I want to take a little bit of brown, and even though I have put that second layer there around underneath her chin, I'm hoping that if I put that brown there now, instead of taking the paint off, it'll blend it a little bit. So just putting a little bit, a tip on my brush. Yeah, don't take it too far over. Went too far over. But yeah, looks like it's just taking my paint off. So, but anyway, that area is going to be a little bit darker. And for me, and I think it's the canvas board. I am using a canvas board. And so it's not as absorbent as using an actual canvas, but you can see how I did go a little bit darker. I grabbed some darker paint, a darker brown, and underneath of her chin, I gave it some shadow. Now we're going to play with our flowers. Let's decide what color your flowers are going to be, where you want to place them. And so for my flowers, I am going to go back to my flat brush. This is I think this is, I can't tell you what they are because it's worn off. So this is going to probably be like a half or 3/4. All right. And again, I'm going to dip that. And let me see. I'm going to go pink. I'm going to go pink. So whatever color you decide your flower is going to be, you're going to use white and whatever your flower color is going to be. So I'm grabbing some royal fuchsia. Put that on mine. So basically I'm grabbing a pink. So I'm grabbing my pink paint. And like I said, I like to wet my brush. If it's a dry brush, I like it to be a little bit wet. And then I dab it on my paper towel. Get rid of any excess paint. And then I am going to dip it in my pink. And then dip 1/4 in my white. You guys see that on my brush? My pink and my white. Okay. And so now I'm trying to be more strategic about where I put my rose, my buds. So she's not a cyclops. And I don't want it to look like it's her eyes either. So decide how far you're going to come down. Okay. I want that to be a little bit bigger. Dip it in my pink and my white. And I make a C on one side and then a C on the other side, and then bring them together and color them in the middle and paint in the middle. I'm going to get in closer so you guys can see what I'm doing when I make mine. So I'll start here and I'm going to make a C and then go back and make a C on the other side. So now I have a circle. I'm going to dip again, and then I'll fill in the inside. So that's how I'm making my flowers. Do that again a few times. Decide how many buds you're going to put on her. Like sometimes the way the paint is on my brush, sometimes some of them are going to be whiter, have more white, and some of them have more pink. Okay, and again, you decide how many you want on there. Making sure I have paint in the middle. So I'm not blending my pink and my white on my palette. I'm blending it more so on the canvas. And I really don't want to like blend, I just want to have 2 shades. So, and that's what you can see on my canvas rather than me blending it. So I just want to make, now what I'm doing is to tell the difference between the 2 flowers. Like if the flower on top has more white, I want to make sure the flower on the bottom has more pink than white to make a darker, so that you can tell them differentiate between the 2 flowers. So over here, this is more white, so this one's going to be more of the pink. I'll fill in more pink. And then the one that's white, I'm going to make sure the edges are more white, more prominent on that one. You guys kind of understand what I'm trying to do. And then again, it's up to you. So I balance, I need 1 more bud over here. So even if it's not like a full bud, but it's something. Okay. There. That help any? Try to get some balance. Okay. I'm not going to spend, last night I did a paint party and we did these same buds, but we just did it in a flower pot. And I'll tell you, it was a rather quick painting, but people really, really enjoyed those buds. They spent a long time on the buds. So don't spend too much time on the buds. We're going to come back for more detail. All right. So, hey, Tammy, I didn't see your message. It says, hello, Tammy is from Virginia. Welcome. Welcome, Virginia. Tammy repping Virginia. All right. So now I'm going to move on and let those buds hang out. And go down here and put a little detail in her face. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of, I'm going to grab some red. You can go with pink. I'm going to make some lips. Okay. So you can grab red or just whatever you would like those lips to be. And I just need a little bit. You can use, if you use pink, you want her lips to coordinate, you can do that. But I just need a little bit of red, and it's kind of exploding out of my bottle. I just need a little bit of red for her lips. And I am going to go smaller. Guys, when I do make her lips, I want it to be, I'm going to make an M for her lips. Now, because of the angle of her face, I'm going to make the lips a little bit closer towards the side of her face. But again, I'm going to make M's, and don't put it too low. Don't put it too high. Just think about the distance between your lips and your chin. Use yourself as a look in the mirror, paint your lips. So that's M, my first hump. I'm gonna get in a little bit closer, make sure you guys can see what I'm doing with the M, but kind of like if you thought about if you were like making a bird in the sky, whatever, like that, you'll think about it like that. And then for her bottom lip, just arch it a little bit underneath. Might have brought her lips too down close to her chin, but I'm gonna, I can still work with that. So there, I have her M, and I'm gonna go ahead and just fill that in. hopefully I move around like that to make sure that each section is dry when we get back to it. So we painted that layer. So hopefully it's dry by now. The layer, the second layer of the skin tone. So I'm just filling it in. And I'm making a mess. Because now I'm like, it's not even. Now I'm trying to even it. Then every time I even it, I make her lips bigger. So I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. Okay. So now I'm going to take my, I'll give you guys a minute to get those lips together. So how's the weather where you guys are? I'm excited. My husband's like, oh, this is going to be the, I heard we get ready to start getting warm weather and so on and so forth. And that was a trick. It's not bad today. It's not bad. It has warmed up. But I guess I was expecting it to be even warmer. And that did not happen for me. Okay, so I am going to take, I went and grabbed a pointer brush. This is a number 4. Again, everybody's, the brands are different. So I'm not sure if that would even equate, but this is a pointer brush, but it's a little bit wider than what I was using before because I was how thin that is. So I went a little bit thicker. So I want to take my my brown paint and I'm going to kind of outline her face. And I say outline, but it's going to be a heavy outline because it's going to be more like a shadow. Okay. And then I'm just a light layer. It's not heavy. I'm using a dark, it's a darker brown than her skin tone. It is a dark brown, but it's very transparent. So that helps a lot that I can, when I put it on there, it's not leaving like a nice heavy layer. Okay, you guys can see that I've outlined her face with that darker brown. And then you can also, where I used white, I don't know if you use white or not to outline her face, you can go ahead and cover that with that brown too, if you still have any showing. And I'm also going to outline, and I say outline, but still give a thick line like a shadow. I'm going to be on the inside of her shoulder because we're just going to come back and outline in black as well. So now I'm just kind of giving it some shadow. And if you're using maybe a yellow, maybe you can just you maybe do an orange, maybe a darker yellow. Take your yellow, add a little bit of orange to make it a little bit darker. I won't say black because I don't want to like turn it completely black. Black will dominate and, like really change your design. So I'm going to say just something that'll make if you don't have brown, make your yellow a little bit darker, just to have 2 different shades, it's all. And I'm also going to get a little bit darker on the neck. The side of the neck, I still have some white showing, so I'm covering up that white. Okay. I don't know if I feel like the camera's so far away today. Smooth it in. You guys can see more of what I'm doing. And I need a new easel. This one's kind of stripped out. So when I raise it up, just slides back down. We'll see how long it takes to slide though. I need this. I take this one everywhere I go. It travels with me. So it falls apart. I was walking through the parking lot last night coming from a paint party, and it just pieces of it fell in the fell out in the parking lot. And I mean, my kids don't help either. They help tear it up. So I've done that. So, and I'm gonna put, like I put the dark around all my edges, I'm gonna go ahead and put that around this last shoulder as well. Like I said, just it's a heavier line, kind of like going for a shadowy effect. Again, guys, this is abstract art, so you know it's not going to be exactly like what a real shadow would be for our shoulders and our arms. But it's fun. She's fun. Okay, so I'm kind of finished with that. Next, we're going to grab our black paint. And we're going to go back to the, you can go back to your pointer brush. Again, I like to use my flat brush to draw lines. So I'll probably go back to that. And we're going to start with the black on our flowers. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on those flowers. I was waiting for everybody to catch up. And we're gonna outline our flowers. Just
Wait, Ronita, did you say you put black somewhere, or is that what you're doing now?
I'm adding my black. And I'm going around my flowers, but I'm not gonna make them like a even circle. So if you look, I'm trying to, you know, be a little bit of kind of wavy and getting a little bit closer. You can see that one that I've started. It's not like perfect circle or anything, but I'm trying to give it that. I don't want it to be a perfect circle around there. You guys can see that I've done that. I'm trying to stay on the outside of the flower and make sure that it's not a perfect circle around there, even though when I painted them, they were circly. But I want them to be abstract. And hopefully the flowers are dry enough. The paint and the flowers are dry enough for you to do that without having too much wet paint in there. And that's why I kind of went down here and did some while the flowers dried. And now we're gonna, while I do the flowers, I'm hoping that the brown that I put on there, since the brown was really light, it should be dry by the time I go down there. And I just have one more flower to outline. I made that one a little bit different. Okay. I'm putting some squigglies. I'm going to add some of those squigglies to my flowers. You guys can see that. Some squigglies inside my flowers. You see my squigglies inside the flowers. Okay, and I'm also going to, well, you know what? I'm going to switch to my blue, my background. Got my background. Go ahead and grab your blue for your background. And then we'll finish up that black after that. And again, I'm grabbing my largest brush. I'm just gonna go in close to her skin. Try not to go over it. And again, this doesn't have to be opaque either. Just give it a little bit of depth, a little bit of definition or whatever. I like it that some of the background is peeking through. Again, it just gives it texture. And I'm not going all the way in to her skin because there's no need to, because I don't want to, you know, paint on her. So just filling in where there's nothing, there's any open space, covering that open space. Again, it doesn't have to be solid opaque, because if you look, it kind of, when you look hold your painting back a little bit or step back from your painting. It just gives it some dimension. It's nice. It's okay if it's not solid. So I'm just getting my background. And again, I'm not going to go, not worrying about if it goes all the way to the edge. And I'm also not worried about if it's like completely covered as far as whether or not I can see the background peeking through.
Sorry, my mute button keeps going on and off. I had to take the dog out. What did it looks like you outlined the flowers in black? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, I missed that part. Thank you.
Mhm. I was well, Tasha, she used to paint here with us. I don't think Diane would be the only person that would remember Tasha painting with us. And I asked her to be a reference for my son. We're applying for scholarships like crazy, and deadline's coming up on the 31st. So I was asking her to be a reference, and she did it. And she said she has it ready. So after this, I'll go over and get it from her. But she's to paint with us. And
I remember Tasha.
yeah, she was his Sunday school teacher. So
Oh,
well, we were both in the all in the children's ministry. So
that's nice.
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my black because I still want to outline her. So it doesn't matter where you start because we're going to outline all of her shoulders, her neck, and this arm over here, her shoulder over this shoulder. Then her chin. I made her chin kind of flat, didn't I? Let me see what that one looks like. Okay. Yeah. And then I'm going to put a little line between her two lips. It's real thin. It's not a real heavy. I just used a paint that was already in my brush. Just a little thin line. So after that, I think we're done with the black. I got some in my flowers. I got some around her. And I'm switching to white. Okay, so I'm gonna take, I want to put some centers, a center in my my flowers. So I'm gonna take the butt of my brush and I'm gonna dip it in my blue. You don't have to choose blue. I'm just choosing blue because it's already on my my tray. And I'm just gonna put some little dots. I'm gonna dot the brush where I think that the center of my flower, each flower should be. Can be whatever color you like. I'm just using the blue. I like the blue because it's not black, so it's not as, not going to be as dark. But we're going to add some more white to our buds as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And you can make that area as wide or as smaller as you like. Like for me, it looks like it's a lot, but then when I look in the camera, it looks like, oh, it's like really small sections. So for me, if it works for you, stop. But I'm going to put some more to make it a little bit wider. My truck, my car I drive, it's old. It's been making when I drive, and it has something to do with the wheel, because when I speed up, it gets faster. When I slow down, it's scratching and cracking and doing a bunch of stuff. And so I've been telling my husband, and then last night I was like, hey, this is too much. You got to look at it. So he took the wheel off, and the caliper is loose. So wow. And so now he's out there fussing and cussing because, it's original parts, and the car is like a 2007. So it's original parts, and just fussing and cussing, trying to pull this off and unscrew this. I hear one of his friends came over and he broke something. So they're out there together doing it. All right, so I've got that in there the way I like it in the middle. And now I'm going to white. Our white is our finishing touches. It's going to make kind of set things off. So I'm going to grab my white. I'm going to go down here. It's not going to matter when we go up here if it's still wet or not, because I'm not going to touch anything with it, but strategically still, I'm going to move down towards the bottom, and I'm going to put this paint white paint on the tip of her shoulder, kind of like a reflection of the light, where the light would be hitting there, just in abstractly, not true. And also I'm going to come over here to this shoulder. I'm not going to be so much on the top, but I'm going to put some white here. Make sure you can see that white, not just a white line, because if you look in my camera, you can really see my white lines. It's an, you can see it. It's not just a thin white line, and make it a heavy white line, not like thin where you put it on there and you're using a pointer brush. You put it on there and then you run out of paint. So it's a thin layer. If it runs out, put another layer on top of it. We want to see that white. It gives it character, like it gives it dimension. So we want to make sure that you see that. So I'm going to go here on her neck and also add some white in there. I see that. You can definitely see it for sure. And then I'm going to go her chin, like her underneath here on this side, not underneath, but kind of there. Okay, that looks good, 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 good. Did I put it anywhere else? Okay, so now I'm going to put a little bit on her lips. I'm going to make her lips. See how her lips, they look good. And all it is just I put white paint on them. So I'm going to grab my brush. I'm going to put some white paint on her lips and make them pop. Put a little bit on that top lip on each side. And again, make sure you're putting some paint on your brush. Don't put a little thin line. And then I'm going to put on her bottom lip, but at the top, because like if the light, you know, kind of sparkles. You see that? All right. So, right, look at those lips. I'm loving those lips. And we're not done with the white. I'm gonna also go up to my flowers. And the way I put squiggly lines using the black paint, I'm gonna do the same thing with my white paint. But I'm not gonna go over top of any black or anything. It's just in any other areas that doesn't have the blue or the black, okay? All right, it's popping, guys. It's popping. So I'm making squiggly lines, but not really. It's not a lot of space in there. So just make sure you got to put some. And again, make sure you can see that white. Remember how I said I don't want to see like you had a little bit of paint on your brush and you made a one stroke with some white. Let's see that white. And I say that, but if this is your painting, make it your own. And if you would prefer it with a minimal amount of paint, you can do that. All right, so the white kind of brings it all together. And so for my YouTube folks, we're done with that. And then we'll go grid so that we can do our show and tell. So everybody can get their spotlight. So I'm going to end that for YouTube. Good night, YouTube, and we'll see you next time.